Price drops to $12.75 million for former California home of Frank Sinatra. If you want to live in Frank Sinatra's home in the 1950s and 60s, it's about to go on the market for a much lower price. The estate was originally listed for $21.5 million back when it included 7+ acres of land, but now it's being offered for $12.75 million with only 4 acres still left to choose from. Luckily for you, TTP member, we've produced a video that will surely help you decide whether to purchase this Frank Sinatra home because its price just dropped to $12.75 million. Aside from this California home, let's get to know Frank Sinatra more in this video. If you're a fan of Frank Sinatra, you might want to think about spending $12.75 million on this estate in the hilltop area he called home. He lived here from 1953 to 1965. It was originally listed for $21.5 million back in August 2021 when it included an additional 7+ acres of land. The property is now being offered separately, reducing the price by $8.75 million. The iconic mid-century compound was designed by acclaimed architect William PEREIRA, AIA. This Hollywood A-list property has been restored and sits securely secluded behind gates atop a promontory hill with a 2/3 mile long driveway. This 6-bedroom house can accommodate up to 12 guests and comes with a pool house, and an enclosed 2,000 square foot pergola. The cottage comes with its own in-ground pool and yard, which is surrounded by lush vegetation. The main residence is a striking modern glass architectural masterpiece boasting over 6,600 square feet of Hollywood style that sits on 7.9 picturesque acres overlooking a protected 1,325 acres of nature preserve, which highlights the majestic skyline of mountain ranges and 360-degree panoramic city views. The interior of Outpost is unlike anything you've felt before. Every moment of your stay will be a memorable one thanks to multiple areas for relaxation, plenty of windows, wood floors, and marble floors. The listing notes that according to the official movie list, the estate has been featured in many movies and TV shows. The property offers plenty of room to add equestrian facilities, a recording studio, vineyards, or additional living structures without sacrificing any potential level of quality. The estate is on the market for anyone interested in a beautiful spot to live or film. With ample space in one of the most sought-after areas in LA, it is ideal for multiple purposes, like being an equestrian facility, a recording studio, or a vineyard. It even features a helipad or multiple generations at home. Despite his retirement, Sinatra is still going strong and continues to list homes on the market. Last year, one of his home listings ended up being the week's most popular when they went on sale for $4,250,000. The desert getaway was taken off the market this May. After seeing how beautiful this California home is, can you now imagine yourself living here? Are you the next owner of Frank Sinatra's former California home? If you haven't decided yet, let's get to know Frank Sinatra more. Frank Sinatra was one of the most popular entertainers in the 20th century, winning awards and giving an incredible number of unforgettable concerts. Singer and actor Frank Sinatra rose to fame in the 1930s and 40s with big band music. In the 1940s and 50s, he had a dazzling array of hits like Love and Marriage, Strangers in the Night, My Way, and New York, New York. Unlike other singers of his time, he left behind a massive catalog of work that includes iconic tunes like the last one. He died on May 14, 1998 at age 77 from the flu. Frank Sinatra was born on December 12, 1915. He was the only child of Sicilian immigrants, and he decided to become a singer after seeing Bing Crosby perform in the 1930s. He had already been a member of the Glee Club in his high school, and he sang at local nightclubs. After radio exposure brought him to the attention of bandleader Harry James, Sinatra began making recordings with James, including All or Nothing at All. In 1940, Tommy Dorsey invited Sinatra to join his group. After 2 years of success with Dorsey, Sinatra decided to strike out on his own. Sinatra soared to success in the 1940s, developing a wide range of nicknames including The Voice and the Sultan of Swoon. The mobs of young admirers were attracted not only by his swoon-inducing voice but his dreamy baritone. 1942 was an important year in Sinatra's life because it was the year he joined up with Tommy Dorsey. It was also a dark time for America's youth as young men and even some women were joining the war effort. Sinatra experienced many hardships during this time, but fortunately he found solace in his music and became one of the biggest stars of the decade. Sinatra made his acting debut in 1943 with the films Reveille with Beverly and Higher and Higher. In 1945, he won a special Oscar for The House I Live In, a 10-minute short made to promote tolerance on the home front. Sinatra's popularity began to slide in the post-war years, but that same year he found success again by winning an Oscar for supporting actor for his role of Maggio in classic From Here to Eternity. Although this was his first non-singing role, Sinatra quickly regrouped by getting a recording contract with Capitol Records in 1953. By the 1950s, Sinatra started doing more mature-sounding songs with jazzier inflections and took in more serious subjects like the homeless. Retaining his stardom even after the death of his wife and other family members, Sinatra continued to enjoy continued success in both movies and music for almost 2 decades more. He received another Academy Award nomination for his work in The Man with the Golden Arm 1956 and earned critical acclaim for his performance in the original version of The Manchurian Candidate 1962. Meanwhile, he continued to be a formidable chart presence. When his record sales began to dip by the end of the 1950s, Sinatra left Capitol Records to establish his own record label, Reprise Records, in conjunction with Warner Bros., which later bought Reprieve. In partnership with Warner Bros., Sinatra also set up his own independent film production company, Artanis Films. In the mid-1960s, Sinatra returned to top form. He received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award and headlined the 1965 Newport Jazz Festival with Count Basie's orchestra. During this time, he also made his Las Vegas debut and would continue on for years at Caesar's Palace as the main attraction. As a founding member of the Rat Pack alongside Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop, Sinatra represented the hard-drinking, womanizing, gambling swinger, an image constantly reinforced by the popular press and Sinatra's own albums. With his modern edge and timeless class, even radical youth had to pay Sinatra his dues. Jim Morrison of The Doors once said that no one could touch him. Frank Sinatra enjoyed a successful career in amateur boxing before turning to the world of music. After stints as an entertainer and singer, he became a legendary actor and musician. Back in the world of music, Sinatra had a big hit with Strangers in the Night, the song's #1 listing and Grammy Award-winning success came in 1966. The same year, he recorded Something Stupid with his daughter Nancy, who would have another huge hit that same year. By decade's end, Sinatra would add yet another signature tune that would be known around the world, My Way, which derived from a French tune and featured new lyrics by Paul Anka. After he retired for a few years in the early 1970s, Sinatra returned to the music scene with All Blue Eyes Is Back 1973 and also began to focus on politics. Having first met President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1944 while campaigning for him during his bid for a 4th term in office, Sinatra worked hard for JFK's election in 1960 and later supervised JFK's inaugural gala in Washington. The relationship between the two soared. However, after the president canceled a weekend visit to Sinatra's house due to him having ties to Sam Giancana from Chicago mob boss. By the 1970s, Sinatra disavowed his long-held Democratic loyalties and embraced Republicanism by supporting either Richard Nixon or Ronald Reagan, who presented him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom at one point. Singer Frank Sinatra married his childhood sweetheart Nancy Barbado in 1939. They had 3 children together before their marriage unraveled in the late 1940s after Junior was born. After spending a lifetime living the good, bad, funny, and sad days of his life, Frank Sinatra married 3 times. 2 of the marriages ended in divorce and 1 ended up with him remarrying, but that marriage only lasted until he passed away. In October 2013, Farrow made headlines after stating in an interview with Vanity Fair that Sinatra could be the father of her 25-year-old son Ronan, who is Farrow's only official biological child with director Woody Allen. In the interview, she also acknowledged Sinatra as the great love of her life, saying, "We never really split up." In response to the buzz surrounding his mother's comments, Ronan jokingly tweeted, "Listen, we're all possibly Frank Sinatra's son." In 1987, author KELLEY published her unauthorized biography of Frank Sinatra. In 1993, the singer-song's Duets was released and became a huge success. As it got older, Sinatra had still managed to gain legions of new fans with its release. Critiques blasted his vocals though and how they were recorded earlier. According to the New York Times, Frank Sinatra held his last performance in 1995 at the Palm Desert Marriott Ballroom in California. On May 14, 1998, hours after Sinatra's death, he was pronounced dead of a heart attack by a doctor at Los Angeles Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. He was 82 years old and had faced his final curtain. Though he continued to have mass appeal for more than 50 years, Frank Sinatra stated himself, "When I sing, I believe I'm honest." In 2010, the book Frank the Voice, written by James Kaplan and published by Doubleday, was well received. In 2015, a sequel called Sinatra the Chairman was released to mark Frank's 100th anniversary. That's it for this video, TTP member. Remember to subscribe to our channel, and if you feel like we've delivered value, please share this video with one person. That's right, just one person, as a token of your appreciation for the hard work we put into making content that educates and helps you on your mission of building your own fortune. Remember, you can watch video after video, but it isn't until you actually take action that you'll start to see results. See you soon!